Thank you, Council President. Would anybody else have another comment? I think I'm going to reserve mine until after public comment. Are there any other comments? Great. With that, we have to go into public comment. I think we stated it was going to be for half an hour. Just for the record, the comments will be read in order that they came in, and they're being read in the order they came into on the website. Not necessarily, council members, I know all of you may have been receiving emails directly into your offices. In addition to that, these comments are also being read, like I said, from the public comment section for the, this particular meeting. I would also like to publicly state, though, too, there was a certain publication that put something out that said all of the previous public comments were thrown away from the last meeting. I just want to, I appreciate the intent that this publication really wants to ensure the sanctity of public comment, but I just would like the public to know that's not the case. When we received them, we also distributed them widely amongst all of the council members, and they are part of public record. Which is why, but however, because we had to have a new meeting technically with this nomination, then we opened it all up again for that process. So I just want people to know that we take it very seriously, and we respect all the public comments. They were filed accordingly, and we also, out of an abundance of caution, ensured that each council member also received them. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Andrew Sullivan, who will also read the comments.
The first comment is from Wayne Everard, not a paid representative. New Orleans Public Library will be seeking a new operating millage later this year. Its board of directors should be fully supportive of this effort. Mr. Henry, on the contrary, took a position last year that, in my opinion, was not in the best interest of a fully funded library. I do not think he is an appropriate candidate for board membership at this time. The next comment is by John Lavin, not a paid representative. While it is atypical for the council to reject a political appointee at the Governmental Affairs Committee level, this level of approval would not need to exist if it couldn't be utilized to do so, and if the authors of the city charter did not foresee the possibility that unacceptable appointees might come before the council from time to time. Please reject putting Dana Henry, who helped organize a library defunding campaign, on a library board, no matter who asked you to. The next comment is from Karem Ozkan, not a paid representative. Like many members of the public, I remain deeply concerned about the appointment of Dana Henry to the library board. In December, New Orleans voters issued an edict clear as day in rejecting Proposition Number 2. Mr. Henry coordinated campaign activities and strategies for the Yes campaign. I'm a citizen who values the library and believes those on the library board should protect it. From where I'm sitting, this isn't a complicated political calculus. It's time we appoint true allies to the library, to the board. It's time to listen to the voters. Next comment is by Jack Reno Sweeney, not a paid representative, commenting on Appointment F, Dana Henry, NOPL Board. It is unfortunate that this hearing was delayed 2 weeks and the public given extremely short notice, considering the deluge of comments opposed to the nomination of Dana Henry to the library board. His nomination is deeply inappropriate, as his interests with the library diametrically opposed to those of the public. This is made clear by his record of substantial contributions of time, labor, and money to the Yes on 2 campaign, which voters roundly rejected. Someone that dedicated to dismantling and defunding the public library system in our city has no place on its board. It is a clear conflict of interest and violation of voters' trust and will, as expressed at the ballot box. Reject this nomination. The next comment is by Melissa Fleming, not a paid representative. Please vote against the appointment of Dana Henry to NOPL's board. He actively advocated for Prop 2, which, if had passed, would have significantly damaged the library, rejecting his library. This man has no in 2021 did not approve Mr. Henry to the library board. Nor Parmenter moves, never forget that. Y'all work for us and we want our libraries funded, so get your priorities straight or lose your job next election. Representative, it's simple. The library board ought to support the library, not attempt to gut its budget. By Mr. Henry vocally and amply supported last year's Prop 2. Mayor Cantrell's Prop 2 campaign was full of misinformation, and it was roundly defeated by voters who saw through the slant. I suggest Mr. Henry would hurt the next comment is by Luke Sirenides, fully watching to ensure those who oppose the public library will not be elected to public office, whose interests this council represents. His appointment to vulnerable population that drove to appointment and wants to take millage away from the library. Next comment is by Matt Fun. a tenacious advocate and leader. Dana not only serves with humility and dedication, showing strong opposition to the appointment of Mr. Dana Henry to the board of the New Orleans Public Library. Mr. Henry has publicly supported Proposition 2, which is the first time I tried and failed to express my concern. Have a history of advocacy, not a paid representative. The libraries can play in preparing New Orleans by now. The board should be made up of people. New Orleans benefit. The next couple of the people of New Orleans that the library serves should be appointed to the New Orleans Public Library Board. Member nominated relative to Mr. Dana.
Great, well, thank you so much.
Support for early childhood education rather than Dana Henry, corporate shill at law. That's it. Council members, that is 30 minutes of public comment.
Great, well, thank you so much. Council members, well, first, I don't know if, Mr. Henry, if you'd like to respond to anything you said. I'm impressed that you were